Welcome back to my lovely IHP community and the 5D collective and all of those who are into having the healthy other of you and others and relationships that are truly loving. So consistently showing up because you own your sense of self. That is the earned secure attachment or the not losing secure attachment. Whole self, so your inner child is an adult, is how we're going to begin. And you do enjoy mindfulness and spirituality practices, and that's a consistency. I can share, and I will be sharing stories from my teenage. So as an adolescent, we all will have the 12 to 24 adolescent brain. That chemistry kicks in, and there's a bunch of different data points that I've learned thanks to a lot of different courses, but we won't be looking into all of it. I'm just giving you the gist of me knowing a lot of data points that come with my one-to-one mentorship, that come when we will have our spiritual retreats, but that I'm trying to just allow you to understand some of the background, but not really give the in-depth. Also, I'm pseudoscience lady, and there's a reason for it. I can fuck up the data, and I'm bringing in spirituality and sciences, okay? And so we have those who are even better and more informed than I am, and the reality is, if you need any of good mental health, you go to the practitioners themselves to get it, and so on and so forth. And even here we have the smart ones, thorough ones, who let you know how to discern, like Dr. Daniel Fox. He's great for personality disorders. Dr. Daniel Siegel is great for all of IPNB and just a lot more attachment categories. Bessel van der Kolk is great for a lot of the Body Keeps a Score, and Stephen Porges, and so lots of names. Those are direct people who know what they're talking about. The ones who are more like a me, that's where it depends on what end of the coin you're on. So the human suffering love, they don't like people like me. The human love, they do, and that's because we are a Christ consciousness group. We love and forgive and expand consistently. So clarity and organization, that's what your mind and heart and the embodiment of you are, which is why you're a healthy person. You don't do the characterological distinctions, you don't cast a stone, you don't do judgments, and you don't embark on shame, sex, relationships, envy, jealousy, revenge, loneliness, none of the low self-esteem, and that is where the insecure, unhealthy other is going to not show up. They're not going to be able to love. They don't love themselves, and there's two options for them, but they're not taking that option. If a person takes the option of healing, then they will not be an unhealthy other. They will be a healthy other. Okay, so organizing all that and moving back to adolescents that have secure attachment, we don't get this what is it called, heartbreakenness in a way of rejecting ourselves. We don't do, I'm going to change myself like Grease in that movie. Okay, so as an adolescent, when I was able to go through all of the rejection, and we all reject each other, right? There's so many stories for women and men, but when you have an ego self that are empowered because you continue to be yourself, you don't lose yourself. That's why the healthy other can show up and expand all of the relationships. And as a divine feminine of my oversoul, I can tell you all that every relationship gets recalibrated to the next best sweet spot, because that's how it works when you're a healthy person. Healthy means I have myself empowered, sense of self. Maria's being herself, not the facade. Authenticity, vulnerability, intimacy. My heart is open, and I'm creating what is a true social engagement relationship with the essential spark, novelty, creative expression of my adolescent essence. So my essence stayed, so did my 3-year-old, and she's a differentiated self. So did my 1-year-old. Okay, so here you have a host who never had a disowned Maria. Okay, no, Maria has always had this. Why? Because I have the capacity to have an inner child-centric environment. So I have a divine feminine as my nurturer. And so whenever I would cry, like when I was 4 years of age, I went home because boys said, nope, you can't play your twin. Yes, you know. And I got explained why. And it's okay for you to be you, but sometimes you means different, and people don't want you, but not because you need to be different than you. So I was able to be told, you just be you. And then as I got to become a teenager, also, are you gonna do stupid things like your friends if they're doing stupid things? Are you gonna get yourself into trouble? What are you gonna do, throw yourself off a bridge? No. Okay, so our community is your one attachment from home, and then you play it out as an adolescent, now we're looking to our next alloparenting crew. And so I got to pick. That's your second choice point. The first you don't choose, but if you're doing Dharma, which a divine feminine can tell you all about, which is why we learn from, again, I didn't disown Maria. Nope, I was Maria. And as a person who today can look to the past with my lovely clairs, I can tell you I do know when my karma was being presented to me so that I could expand and then move from karma to dharma with that very specific, it's a, how can I explain it? Because you don't get tested by life. That's not how it works. The way that I want to help you understand is that you're going to be able to have moment of human evolution. You decentralize, like Patrick McNamara talks about, and so you will have the decentralization take place, but because you have healthy self-worth and radical acceptance, and so you don't say I'm defective because I'm not like my friends, okay? You maintain differentiation of the self. Maria's thoughts and emotions are Maria's. I'm not going to feel like this. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to know how to do this because this is what I got to get taught by my mother. And my twin and I got the opportunity to also be different and to love each other. Okay, so you know, you learn unconditional love and community the healthy way. So you keep on expanding because you know how to do ruptures and repairs. That's what it is. Okay, so there's not a special gift, but it seems that people think unconditional love is either impossible or special. And I'm here to let you know it's a choice. Like it is to deepen your relationships and to recalibrate them when someone doesn't match your attachment expectations, because you will have, like I, expectations, and they don't have to want you the same way that you want them. That's why it's called free love, for real, not pretend, and not shame sex or punishment sex or whatever, you know, all people who don't know how to handle each other because they don't go to Terry Real to get themselves into loving their self first, or Patrick Tiahan. Okay, and so with that being said, you don't change when you have healthy self-worth as an adolescent. You choose your next alloparenting group and you continue to be yourself. So my next group was my boyfriend. Then there was my, friends, all those people. And what I learned from them, then I got to have a round 2 with my facade friend. You all know that. So twin flames, they're pretty much a bonus, if you will, because at the end of the day, you're going to be consistently living your life with the people who show up, not the ones who want to come in and out. And there's a whole bunch of aspects I could let myself share, but I don't have to. Plus we have a channel with guidance later on. So there's a lot of nice energies for the 5D collective. They don't get weighed down because, again, we lift each other up because we're the wind beneath each other's wings. Because if this is happening, we are here as divine feminines for each other and say, accept you for you, be your authentic self, allow yourself to speak your voice and your truth. We are all heard, so nobody's going to shame you. And the reason the people who do the loneliness, shame, sex stuff, it's a sad story, is because they don't take themselves to Patrick Tiahan, childhood trauma survivor, healing therapist, and or a Terry Real to learn to love themselves first. So they're not love. Love consistently shows up. Love means I know how to speak to you, not shame you. Shaming is for people who have been shamed and they want to use the shaming tone. They are not healed from their being treated the way and they want the frequency of human suffering. Love, I can use that. They believe in it. I don't believe in it because that's not going to have anyone get out of that. No, they're going to just keep doing the low frequency of shame. And that's why some people, they self-select out of other people's lives because they don't want healthy other, because they are not healthy for their self. So that means they choose consciously to disregard that their first 3 years of life matter, that their maladaptive patterns of behavior are healable. They choose to disregard good, smart people for assholes, quote unquote, on screen, is how I'm going to put it. The 7 to 14 charming, they're only pulling the wool over the same people's eyes that are facades. So they're shallow, they have shame, and their frequency is going to be something that we know, which is why it's not about evil. It's about them disregarding Patrick Tiahan, Terry Real, and all of the smart people who talk to us about how we can bring forth love and you can heal from rejection and your childhood rejection, abandonment, and wounds. So let me go back to my friend, the facade friend. The facade friend is the perfect example because he's the one who helped me know what it is when a person has the abandonment wound stuff. And now that I have the attachment trauma information, I can explain it this way, which is going to be beneficial for anyone to understand. If you don't own your first 8 years of life, your unconscious, subconscious, and you don't reparent with a good therapist to get your emotional, mental, and physical body on point with you, core self, narrative, relational, solo self. If you don't become your whole self, use your name, and own it, you don't know how to do life yet like a healthy other. You're going to come in and out like a little flag on a pole, and really a person who's healthy, again, Pacha knows what Cusco is doing every step of the way, not the other way around. And that's how it works for a mystic or a mindful human being who's a somatic empath. So they're integrated brain, restorative embodiment, they're aware, they're accountable, regulating, and full blown in a state of compassion and forgiveness. And that's our smart people. And the smart people also know that the ones who need to heal and reparent, they're on a different journey, and they're going to take their time, because to get that emotional body online, then work through the unkind behavior stuff, but also the dysregulation stuff, it's going to require their time and their desire, but they're going to want healthy others, because the healthy others are going to keep them accountable. And then they're going to also be the ones they look at as an example. Okay, so we support each other to expand into more love. We don't reject each other. We don't shame each other. We don't do any of the cutting of the cords. Healthy self-worth people, and 5D community is made up of that. We are here to say no characterological distinctions, no judgments, no casting of stone. That's why it's Christ consciousness. I'm not better than you, and I will forgive. Blessed are those who believe without seeing, and forgive because they don't know. So when you are an unknowing of yourself, you're an insecure person. You don't know yourself, you don't know about your authentic needs, you in fact use very bad self-soothing mechanisms, and they're bad for your health, not for me. So shame, sex, and in and out, and manipulation in ways that are Cusco with Squirrel and Yzma is unhealthy. It's a Diego family. I'm a healthy other, I will witness it, I won't be shaming, blaming, faulting, revenging. Again, I won't be a martyr superior or a blamer, I'm not a codependent, I'm a healthy other. So it means I'm a divine feminine, I'm a nurturer, and I'm a common sense, highly emotionally, mentally, and physically intelligent human being. Man, woman, they don't matter, mystic or not, which is why you won't find any 5D human being talking to you about their twin flame or flames and their oversoul as something of this. I'm just going to, again, put it to the side. We'll talk about that in our channel guidance. We're going to allow ourselves to point out that which is going to be pointed out for good reasons, and we're going to allow ourselves to take steps back. So if you are a person who welcomes true love, and you welcome trust, and you welcome yourself, then you're going to welcome consistency, and you're going to learn from it. So the people who welcome their self and they welcome love, they learn to identify healthy other, and they'll want more of that, and they want to disengage from any of that which is a Diego family. They don't want to date another Stromboli. They don't want to do another one of the rounds of loneliness, sex, shame, sex, again, any of that which is in the absence of true love, because it's not healthy, because you can't be a truly loving person if you don't take care of your emotional, mental, and physical needs. And if you don't feel happy when you're waking up, and you don't feel surrounded by love, that is your cue, and people will know void. And they will know with good therapists that there's a way out, like Dr. Daniel Fox. So people will come across good information, like Dr. Daniel Fox or Patrick Tiahan and or Terry Real, and they say, I'm going to go do that stuff because I know this fits really with what I can see myself in, and I want that. I can, and that's why we exist as a community. So we are here for each other to be that wind beneath our own wings, and then each other's wings. And we don't feel rejection is protection. It's bullshit statement. No, we feel that if you and I are having a disagreement, it's because we're different, and we're going to talk about it, and we will bring it full closure, and we will love consistently each other and expand that relationship. So we build secure connections. And the secure attachment relationships for the solo polyamory community, for example, we don't do a couple-centric environment because of there being, one, the 24 hours, but two, we know how to be our own safe haven, secure base. So in the minute that I'm encountering a partner or partners who are not able to match certain things, I will already know how to talk about it like a functional adult, and then to accept that which they bring to the table and to have recalibrated that relationship. The individuals who are inclined to want to consistently have to have one human being in their life, those are people who will be able to also get a healthy other because of enough attachment and trauma educators out there who make it clear what that looks like. So it's, you don't change you. You are yourself because you love yourself first. So you are a person who has flaws, imperfections. You're living a life of meaning and connection beyond the soul self. So being yourself is what you do want when you understand it from the embodied, whole, 1-year-old, 3-year-old, again, all of you. The people who say, I want to be myself, they could go to Patrick Tian because I want to be Maria. I am Maria. Maria doesn't change. And if you tell me to change, which I have been told, they'll say, you know what? No, I'm looking for who wants to unconditionally love me as I am, exactly to a T. And the fact that you even remotely would say something like that to me makes me think today, as an attachment trauma informed person, that you don't know yourself, one. And two, some of us don't lose ourselves because rejection, again, doesn't make me say, Maria, change who you are. No. And when the teenage boyfriend broke up with me, that was my first big love. I was like, the grown-ups lied. They said I would love him the most, and I'm not. No, I love him the same, but he's not my best of the best of the, no, not at all. Actually, I've been opened up to a whole new world. Yes, and I'm just having a great time. So my month after this dude breaks up with me, I'm just so happy. I'm like, I'm so happy she took him. And when people would say, you let him get away, I'm like, yeah, he wasn't my dog. I didn't have him on a leash. Oh, and if he was that easily persuaded, I mean, really, I don't need a person who doesn't have the cojones to stand and say, I'm here. So that's what I think of any man, woman, or they who doesn't know healthy self-worth. It's, you have no capacity to stand your ground. You don't have a heart body, belly body, energy, mental, emotional, and unfortunately, quote unquote, most people don't get their asses into a room with Patrick Sheehan and Terry Real so that they can then be empowered. This is simply a beautiful thing that you will know once you're here. And if you're here, welcome aboard. Let me shake your hand, because being pure consciousness is you being able to be a person. I can explain it again with all the data that we have and relate to you how self-help is supporting the ones who want to be their self, not the ones who want to say, I need to be treated like a piece of shit. No. So I'm not laughing because it's funny. Again, we're going to have some channel guidance. In the meantime, I look to the past and I say, yes, not because the teenage boyfriend couldn't have worked out. No. Yes, because because, long story short, if you don't have the capacity to, yeah, and that's not the only person. Anyways, let me leave it to the side, because all things go, everything happens for a reason. All actions have a reaction, and everything that is meant to come your way will find its way. So what I can tell you all is love is a consistent on a rise for a person who loves to love. And when we notice that who skips out on town is not a true lover, we're not going to shame them. Again, we're going to be, and that's because I can see as a divine feminine all of the potential that you can be, and I'm going to watch as you fizzle away. And when I look to the past, I think, wow, this is what he could have been, this is what you did become, and this is a lot of people, by the way. And I don't want to make it sound like I know everything. I know how people feel about that, like my facade friend, but I do know what your infinite potential looks like, because it's a frequency that's on a high. And if you ask, I'm talking to you from the mystic that I am, okay, and divine feminine. And then I'm going to close us out so I can get to our channeled guidance message, because this is the one thing that when I look to those past human beings, I have always seen the beauty. And to see them not fulfill it, it is, I have no words, because it's none of my business, as people who want to tell me that I don't know anything. And that I know that every inner child would love the opportunity to be an inner child adult, is how I'm going to put it. And I'm going to use my facade friend, because he's the reason that I know so much about these people that don't know how to speak and be themselves in general. Again, it's a pity. It's just a pity, because when you embody yourself, I can tell you every day, it's not wine. It's amazing to be able to just be Maria. And when you have people who want to be their self, those are the relationships that are completely full of passion and tango, and it's men and women, and this is what our community is about. It's about appreciating our inner child with the essence of our inner child as an adult. And you have the playfulness, and you have the spirit, the essence of your adolescence, but it's a true essence. That's why that Billy Joel song, you may be right, I may be crazy, but it is full blown. And then the young at heart, it's full blown. Beyond the sea, come and get your love. Okay, so we're gonna have that. But when you meet the pure essence of an embodied masculine and feminine, it's something that will leave your breath away, take your breath away. And they're always gonna be healthy. So they keep each other accountable, and that's what we do. We don't say yes to torture chamber, re-traumatize yourself. No. No, 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 no. We will have the capacity though to know if you're welcoming your own healing or not, because it is in the minute that we tango that I'll know. So again, we'll be back with more. In the meantime, we don't change for love, and we don't lose trust if somebody rejects us. We will love them just as much as we loved them before. We will expand with them. We create secure connections, and then we'll have secure attachment relationships with the people who say, I want in, always. And so romance, it's clear. It's never in, it's never going to be unclear, mixed information. You get an unclear mixed to that, leave it alone. They won't be back. They're just going to do it all the way through. That's the one thing, like my facade friends. So anybody who doesn't take themselves up to not another notch, and they don't take the trauma stuff seriously, they're going to do their little, it's a little karma wheel. It's not interesting. Of course, we love all people. Again, Cusco, Pacha, we all live together happily ever after. That's because the human love narrative, it always ends with happily ever after. And we create our fairy tales. And that's what we do here. We create a good fairy tale. It's not just a fairy tale, new stories, healing trauma. It's happening. It's awesome. Heaven in the body, healthy people, true love. It's always the same. Consistency and reliability and vulnerability, open-heartedness. We'll be back again with more. Thank you for joining us. Be yourself with love, integrity, and then thank people. Remember, the unhealthy others, they self-select out because they don't want accountability. They don't want to regulate, and they don't want to be aware of their self, which is why they reject. My first years of life means shit, and that trauma is just annoying, all of this stuff. I don't want any of it. And you say, you know what? Have fun. Bye, Pinocchio. I'll see you later. I don't know when I'll be back to the island because, stuff happens there, and I really think I'm going to go to another island. But you can come visit me if you want. You don't have to. So we'll be back again soon.